Okay, so I'm just gonna briefly cover this, um, but I think Gemtoki is pretty much irrelevant right now. I'm not gonna go over too much like Gemtoki rates because everyone knows Gemtoki by now. That's played for long enough. A lot of people own Gemtoki, and I think roughly if you hard grind for a day, it's very possible for you to make 500k in a day. So that's I think roughly what people can get if they hard farm for hours. And if you're willing to get, if you already have premium, I wouldn't. If you don't have premium like Roblox Premium, I wouldn't buy it for this. If you already have Roblox Premium, buy the 200 Robux Game Pass, sit in AFK, and you make 590,000 from AFKing a full day. Now, let's say you play for 2 hours and then you have the game on just running in the background, you'll make, I mean, realistically about 600,000, 700,000, depending on how much you play and how many gems you make when you're actively playing. This is also assuming you don't crash at all, which is kind of unrealistic. The AFK aura likes to crash or disconnect quite a bit. So these are more ideal rates than your actual rates. But if you're newer, going into Trade Hub won't help you. Selling your greens, blues, godlies, the cheap mythics, or doing boss fights to try to make currency is a waste. Now, if you can only afford the free, if you can't buy the Game Pass and you aren't going to buy premium, then it's going to put you in the negatives to run the gem booster. So this is what you're capped at. You're going to make 3,060 an hour, which is basically nothing. And overnight you'd make what? It would be 18,000. So I'm messing up my math. No, 24,000 a night. So, I mean, it's okay. It'll cover your gem boosts for like a few days, depending how much you play. But I don't recommend it just because the rate's kind of poor. The same, if you've heard of Blockstrap, I wouldn't recommend making a bunch of alts and running it. It's just too much hassle. I don't know how, like, as far as I know, you're allowed to AFK and do anything you want as far as that goes, but I wouldn't recommend you do that. Just set up your main account and AFK if you want. If you don't want to AFK, don't AFK. I wouldn't bother with Blockstrap or anything. If you're gonna buy anything, you buy the Game Pass because it allows you to get the gem boost. You make enough every 20 minutes to cover your gem boost. So this is 4,800 profit. So you make 6,800 every 20 minutes. But I'm cutting out the amount it costs you to buy the gem boost every 20 minutes. So what you do before you go to sleep, you buy 8 hours or however many hours you're going to sleep of the gem boost. You leave it running overnight. I generally put a macro on so it stays connected because it's more consistent then. Then you wake up and usually have 300, 400k. I'm not including the rates with the extra gems you get from getting auras. If you wanted to do a full spreadsheet and cover that, like how much you get when you roll a timekeeper and all that kind of stuff, you could. But I'm just accounting for if you have the worst luck in the world and you never got an aura, you just kept getting no aura every single roll. This is how much you make. So it will be more. The same if you roll a timekeeper, which every 70 hours I think you're supposed to get a timekeeper. One of my friends said. The thing is, I don't know if that's with or without the Game Pass. Because without the Game Pass, you roll once every 20 seconds. With the Game Pass, you roll once every 6. So your rate is so much better with the Game Pass. It's like absurd. And then you're making enough you afford the double gems. So you make 34 per roll instead of 17. And then if you buy premium or already have premium and you get the Game Pass, then you make 51 per roll. And whenever you get the really low rarity auras like Wind and Ember and all that, I believe you get 71 per roll. So you make quite a bit. The rates are going to be higher than this, but also this is assuming you never disconnect. But this doesn't really matter. It's just if you're going to buy anything, you buy the Game Pass, and then you can run 24/7 Gem Boost as long as you're not wasting it by being AFK. You need to be AFK in the AFK aura, or you need to be in main game farming gems. If you sit in Trade Hub, you talk to people in the main lobby without actually doing stuff, you're wasting your gems. Which again, you're making gems for no effort, so it's not that big of a deal. But if you want to invest the gems, so let's say you make 300, 400k every night, just as an example, or every day you made, let's say, 400k. Right now, I would recommend you go into Trade Hub and you start buying up Wrath Blades. Or you save up and buy Rainbow Chaoses every 3 or 4 days. And then that should give you a ton of gems down the road. Those are good items to invest in. We've watched multiple cycles. If you invest in mythics, you're almost always mythics that get removed from the game. You're always going to profit. We've never had a mythic drop in value after being removed. Like Oblivion Pack mythics didn't go up super well. They're kind of low value for what they should be, for how old they are. But you still would have made money. So it's still good. I would skip on most godlies just because it's very hit or miss what godlies are worth anything. But people are always going to want to collect all the mythics. So I'd recommend it. And again, something like 2.4 million, depending how experienced you are, that's going to sound like a lot or nothing. It's just a good amount to get started. If you AFK'd for 2-3 weeks and you make, let's say, even just 4 mil, 5 mil, it's a pretty great start. And 200 Robux is comparable. You're comparing to the gem bundles, which I believe is $20, which is 2,000 Robux for 350k. So I don't know. I think 200 Robux for 2 million is a pretty good deal, and you can like it's gonna pay itself off very quickly, and then more. So if you're gonna buy anything and you're gonna buy gems with real money or Robux, you do this because it's the best thing to do by far. I wouldn't buy premium just to do it though. Also, the weird thing now is it's hard to recommend Gemtoki to people because if they play this, part of the point of Gemtoki for me was you recommend Gemtoki so they can do 1 round of Gemtoki, do 3 gem hunts in a round, which covers their gem boost for that 20 minutes. So let's say they do 4 rounds in 20 minutes. 1 round is Gemtoki, and then the other 15 minutes of the 20, they would play a champion that they actually like playing. So you're getting your boost for free. You can still do that if you own Gemtoki, but the thing is, this works overnight, and you don't need to keep swapping to a champion that's pay to lose. You have actual blocks and attacks for face off, because if you win face off with double gems, you get, I believe, 800 gems. Every hit's 50 gems, 100 with boost, and I think every kill is 100 gems or 200 with boost. I need to double check the numbers on that. I'll make a video dedicated to all the gem making methods at some point, I hope. But I really just think this is the best Game Pass, and it's a bit absurd. No one's covered exactly how big of a difference the Game Pass makes. I bought it thinking it was just going to go to like maybe 10 seconds per roll, so it would just double it, which is still good, but the amount this increases it is ridiculous. And with how inflation's going, if you buy in to really good mythics now, you should be able to afford pretty much everything you want down the road. If you can just buy, let's say, 1 Rainbow Chaos or 3 Wrath Blades, you should be able to cover the next rotation of mythics just off of that. Have your Wrath Blades or the Rainbow Chaos go up, sell them when they're high, buy the new mythics when they're cheaper, and great, you have the next set of mythics. The more you can front end your effort in this game, the better. Because if you put in, let's say, 10 mil now, in a month, that should be 15, 20 mil if you invest it properly. You would hope. Which, it kind of depends what you pick. But I just think more people need to give this a chance and consider buying this. Again, if you can't AFK overnight, ignore this. Don't buy this. It's probably not worth it. If you only play, let's say, on mobile and you can't AFK overnight, Gemtoki's probably still the play for you, unfortunately. But if you're on PC and you want to get into trading, or let's say you're tired of trading and you just want gems, you can buy what you want, but you don't want the hassle of having to go buy like cheap stuff to flip. this is what you do, because this rate's still very, very solid. You can hit pretty much whatever goal you want. I mean, if you want Divine Shadow, this will get you there eventually. It'll take a while, but if you AFK consistently with this and keep playing main game to farm gems, you should be able to catch up to even items like Divine Shadow. The issue is the more and more people that do this, the more everything's going to inflate, which there's a lot of inflation, but I also don't expect very many people to see this kind of video. But so many more people need to be doing this because there's so many new traders and players stuck thinking that they can't hit goals when it's super easy. But again, if you aren't willing to buy premium, don't. It's not worth buying premium just for this game or just for AFK Aura specifically. Just buy the Game Pass. This rate's plenty. Because again, this will cover. If you AFK for one night, this could possibly cover your double gem boosts for like a few days to a week, which doesn't seem like a bunch, but if your doubles are free, then you make a lot more money and you can snowball your account a lot easier. Yeah, I hope it helps, and I hope you consider buying it, and I hope it helps you if you do.